KRBrickBot, and we're looking at a 헬로카봇 object. Not a character, though it is packed with a character, but this is a mainline object. It's not a piece of merch again. Not actually the first time they had a mainline object, but this is actually a substantial and actually in the show object. It's the Infinitool Toxi Gem set. Still readable even with that handle thing in the way. Yeah, so it is a octagonal opaque packaging with a handle. Yeah, you don't see that often, you know, you only see that in like the Chinese type of box sets. Yeah, there's a nice logo there, I guess. Logo with some sparkly gem textures in the background there. Yeah, and then it shows the Toxi Gem there and the other three sold separately and how it can combine with Wingbird Gem. There's the Q pack with some little stubby legs or hairs. And all the product information is on the bottom here. On a nice octagonal packaging. Gonna be a bit of tricky to untab and unbox this thing. Yeah, just a tiny little tab, I'm gonna open it. Oh yeah, there's an extra flap here, the secondary flap with the other three bots sold separately. There's the instructions right here. Oh, this is like a double-sided fiber shell, or the egg carton. Not really, you know, paper fiber. Okay, and then get that right side up again. Yep, only takes that much space because there's the spider and the accessories off to the side here. And that tiny little tissue paper with actually something in it. It's not just tissue paper that just randomly used to stuff in an empty space. So, just by itself, what does this thing look like? It kind of looks like a four-way booth. I don't know, maybe it's a standing booth? Maybe it's some sort of virtual console? Maybe someone looks at the screen here? Maybe this is some sort of sauna chair? Yeah, just by itself, it does look like some sort of sci-fi prop. Yeah, but it's hard to imagine what sort of use you could use and for what scale you would use, like, apart from its one function of just holding up to 4 Carbot gems. Yeah, so the gems go into head mode and this screen just covers them up, covers up their faces, I guess, for partial protection, while the rest of the bowl just, you know, sticks out from there. Yeah, you can't tell this is a mobile rocket pod just because with these rockets that kind of just stretch out into the diagonals. They're not really round rockets. Yeah, I suppose this is just for flying around and just hovering and then gently landing here. Yeah, so it's an object. It is just a fancy storage object and a rather pricey one. Each of these windows have some 5mm holes on the either side of them, so these are for plugging in the gem's respective weapons. Yeah, if you can just figure it out, just pretty flat surface, and there's a little bit of a divot there, so some of the bulgy type of weapons can store. Yeah, that really makes it look like a weapon rack. Or it's a 4-point offense turret. 4-sided turret. Yeah, just for blasting. Pew, 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 pew. And this thing has one more feature. Just pull out this. This is not a handle. This is an extra toolbox right in the center there. This is a pretty empty, non-specialized type of storage case, so you can fit whatever fits in there. But its main function is to have an alternate way to store these weapons, so this full set of Carbot Gems weapons do fit in nicely here. Pretty spacious. Yeah, so that's a cleaner way to store the weapons in case you don't have to have them sticking out like that. Though it might be a bit more hassle to instantly deploy each of these. So starting off with Toxi Gem, who is included with this Infinitool. As you saw, these 3 others are sold separately. Yeah, it's a bit odd to have 4 heads just sticking out there and then them quickly transforming into their beast modes.
나는 거미잼 카봇 톡시 잼. 다른 잼 카봇과 교체를 할 수 있지. 세단, 트럭, 불도저, 설상차, SUV 등 어떤 카봇 본체와도 결합할 수 있어. 나는 거미처럼 거미줄로 이동도 하고 거미줄로 상대를 꼼짝 못하게 한 다음 강력한 도구로 마비를 시키지. 성격은 조용하고 차가운 편이야. 하지만 말은 톡톡 쏘는 독설가라고나 할까? 그래도 우리 카봇 친구들에게는 다정하다고. 난 은밀한 전사. 내 이름은 거미 카봇 톡시 잼. 길어지는 집게로 적을 물고 뜯고 꼬집는다. 만능 집게. 강력한 도구로 상대를 마비시킨다. 등에서 발사하는 톡신 분사. 나는 루어잼처럼 요란 떨며 공격 안 해. 아주 은밀하게 조용히 다가가 한 방에 샥. 참 쉽지? 라인 일당. 너희 나이가 몇인데 언제까지 이러고 살 거니? 너희가 결혼했으면 우리 어린이들 같은 자식이 있어. 제발 자신을 돌아보라고.
So Toxi Gem is a smoky, clear black spider lady. We like spider ladies. Yeah, pretty spidery, just with some light blue paint there and a bit of gold. 5 spider eyes instead of 8. Well, but these are very spidery enough. Little gemstones with very corners, very easily scratchable and scrapable paint. Little mandibles reinforced with some more clear mandible shapes. And gold painted leg tips. Little round abdomen. And extra claws. Extra support with the Carbot symbol right there. So yeah, it's odd to have these extra vestigial legs in addition to the actual 8 legs that hinge around. Yeah, other than that, it does have some 2 points of articulation here on the central area, like with soft clicks. Watch out for that. And yeah, and like this, and little hinges that go all the way here for the spider legs. So not the most natural stance to have spider legs in, but you can get her off the ground with this thing. Oh, they do stick to the carpet pretty well. Now to arm up this spider. The helmet does slot in the back, I guess, to give it a bigger, thicker, oranger, spikier abdomen. And these claw weapons, just a plug on either side. I guess you could use these handles if you fancy. Plus, there's an extra 5mm on top, so if you want to have like a turret spider. Orange and black is a good color combo, yeah, but they're really kind of a spoopy kind of robo spider is out to get ya. Transform into head and chest mode. Yeah, so I guess most of these Carbot gems have a similar unified point of basically these panels go from wrapping the head to wrapping the back area, and then with this panel tabbing in the back, and then I guess the chest forming the front. That's the general transformation for most of these. Then taking Wingbird Gem here, then just slide that off. Slide it in until they click it into these palm plastic sliding joints. Yeah, so there's the look at the head. A new type of robot head with more vented chins and golden with purple eyes, blue head gem. Just a generic type of robot that just happens to be associated with a female character. And of course, this thing comes with a helmet, unlike the main gem, so that's a type of look. Spunky look. With some permanent paint on there, the little paint splotch right there. Yes, and then armor up with these claw weapons. Yeah, maybe the other way around, just to get the hollow bits less visible. Yeah, types of claws. Or I guess plug him in with this other hole to have some sort of more other type of claw blaster, or just parallel claws, little claws. And of course you can adjust these spider legs, so I suppose you could move these lower legs all the way down to get that out of the way, but these upper ones, they're just like this, so they may get a little more clashy compared to the other Carbot gems. Yeah, so maybe this one thing might be a little annoying. Also, these extra gems heads are a bit bigger and wider than the standard gems heads. Just a few millimeters of head width really does make the proportion difference. So yeah, tiny little head, then a slightly bigger head that looks a bit more natural than the intended head. As for color combination, I guess the dark orange plastic weapons and helmet do complement the painted orange around, but I guess the black chest with a gray torso kinda makes less definition for the torso, as it doesn't really stand out. Because you know the gold really doesn't help accentuate to bring out the torso, it just kind of more subdues it. This type of dull gold. In this case, the blue limbs draw your attention first before the torso.
코끼리 잼 카봇, 스나이퍼 잼. 다른 잼 카봇과 교체를 할 수 있다. 세단, 트럭, 불도저, 설상차, SUV 등 어떤 카봇 본체와도 결합하지. 나에겐 아주 먼 거리에 있는 적도 공격 가능한 스나이퍼 샷이란 무기가 있어. 물론 가까운 거리에서도 사용할 수 있지. 내 성격은 코끼리처럼 평소에는 순하지만 한번 화가 나면 물불을 안 가린다고. 내가 제일 싫어하는 거? 주제를 모르고 까부는 거. 그래서 나는 겸손을 좋아한다고. 반갑다, 차탄. 나는 아무리 멀리 있는 적도 한 방에 쓰러뜨리는 코끼리 카봇, 스나이퍼 잼이다. 세상 넓다. 한 방에 갈 수 있으니 겸손해라. 달에 있는 적도 공격한다. 스나이퍼 샷! 어금니에서 날아가는 상아. 아이보리, 부메랑. 겸손하면 자다가도 떡이 나온다. 좋은 말로 할 때 겸손하게 행동해라.
Yep, so there's Sniper Gem, the 144th Carbot, green. That's really off to the side here, but the product number is the same set number, I guess. Who knows, this could also come in a multi-pack later, but I just want them separately. So it's just a simple blister pack with a yellow textured line, and then the sides here with an arrow and a bit of a gradient down here, and blue streak lines. Yeah, I guess the elephant's kind of walking in motion with the accessory just neatly off to the side there at the cube. Everything to show on a blister pack, and then gem change with Kangbox Gem. Sniper is a very basic and something you would not think of associating with an elephant. A teal elephant, a transparent teal elephant with some nice flat metallic gold. Yeah, this has some gold smudged on this side, some red eyes and ears, and a little forehead. Kind of looks like a baby elephant with those short legs. Really dwarvish elephant with a very long trunk as well. There's some detail in there, including the Carbot symbol on this one side. It has decent leg articulation. It can move forward if you move those ears out, but there is a stopper right there to keep it from going back. It gets just for transformation. Those are some very stiff backward knees. And then, yep, back and forth soft ratchets for these hind legs with a very tiny rump and the knees, pretty stiff knees that go like this. Walking pose. And a little tail that can wag a bit. All on clear plastic on metal pin hinges. And the trunk has 2 hinges. Yeah, it can't really go up that much. Just a soft click there, and it goes inward. So arming up this elephant, that's the helmet piece that's just plonked right on top of there like some sort of abstract guns. And then some real guns, some double barrel guns that plug on the legs. Yeah, not the most natural way to have sniping rifles. Then yeah, it is gonna throw off the balance of it when he's walking. Yeah, but that's an elephant with big old guns on his legs rather than the shoulders on the top, except for this thing. Unless you just want to get rid of that and just have him like an actual turret. Battle elephants. Double up on the battle elephants. Sniper Gem Transformation. Almost the same deal, just make sure to fold these legs backward. And yeah, make sure they kind of tuck in those panels there. You don't need to bend the legs except for the main hips, and get the tail there. Yeah, fold all that down. Get it under there, click it in. Yep, the leg slipped. Yeah, expose tusk down and then put on that helmet. And the guns. Now you have a car robot with an elephant chest. And a pretty teal head with the gold that kinda looks like a face mask with covering that very big chin mouth. Red forehead gem. Orange solid eyes and some circle studs. And then, yeah, when you plonk that head on, that really looks like an oriental, like, just ornate. Just more like an ornate, tribal type of helmet headgear. Very long golden horns and an extra red gem there. That also kind of just floats above the head, doesn't exactly sit flush with it because of these little protrusions. I don't know, that looks weird, but yeah, that's a really kingly type. These are the most gunny looking twin barrel blasters. Of course they can't be dual wielded, but they can be combined in multiple ways. One is by the 5mm hip peg here, so you have a quad barrel blaster. You can also hold it sideways like this. And these are not the same identical pieces. One has a clip in the back and one in the front. So they can combine together like this, like on top. So you could possibly dual wield like this for a 4-way blaster. Yeah, so these are some very generic looking guns, so with good plastics, so I suppose you could just give them to any sort of character with 5mm holes, just to give him extra firepower. Anyone extra firepower. Yeah, this looks good with any type of web character, I guess. And lots of holes just for side mounting or actual handheld. Started blasted. Yeah, but it's fun to have this weapon have like multiple configurations. That's always a fun thing to do. As for the combination with Wingbird Car, maybe this is just okay, maybe not the best because blue and teal are 2 analogous colors. Lots of gold in contrast with the silver. And, you know, elephant, you would think of like a big bulky type, which would go on a big bulky body, but this is a relatively slim type of body, if you ignore the kibble backpack there. Yeah, so maybe that looks a little weird. Maybe a weird type of body shape for this type of elephant headmaster.
나는 언제나 즐겁고 유쾌한 캥거루 잼 카봇, 캥복스 잼. 너는 다른 잼 카봇과 교체를 할 수 있어. 세단, 트럭, 불도저, 설상차, SUV 등 어떤 카봇 본체와도 결합할 수 있지. 너는 근육으로 뭉친 팔과 강력한 점프력을 가진 다리와 꼬리를 갖고 있어서 가장 높이, 가장 멀리 뛰는 한마디로 만능 스포츠 카봇이라고나 할까? 나는 항상 즐겁고 행복해. 그래서 행복하라고 캥복을 외치고 다니지. 주무기는 강력한 주먹 펀치와 옆차기야. 이건 입에서 나는 소리가 아니야. 내 주먹을 받아라. 캥복. 나를 따라 캥복을 3번 외쳐봐. 캥복. 그럼 행복해질 거야. 이 세상에서 저 세상으로 보내주는 세상에서 제일 강한 타이슨 펀치. 양손에 든 망치를 3번 맞으면 고장이 난다. 캥복 망치. 높이뛰기, 멀리뛰기, 복싱. 나는 뭐든지 잘해. 내가 카봇 올림픽 나가면 금메달 100개는 딸걸.
Next is Kangbox Gem, the 145th Carbot, orange. The purple gradient is much more noticeable, especially transitioning between the blue action lines at the bottom. Typical blurs for this gem, but that is a pretty tall kangaroo and a pretty hollow helmet. There's Decorator Gem again, but with the different stock photos. You don't see a transforming kangaroo robot that very often. They're very rare. Yeah, so there's a nice gem orange flavored kangaroo. Very robotic kangaroo head with some pink eyes, little snoot, forward-facing ears. No opening jaw though, that's solid. A little bit of the head next over there and downward so he can look down and all the way up. Oops, I totally forgot to flip up this panel, this silver painted Carbot symbol panel throughout the entire review. Nice flat tail with, this is a permanent bend, but it does kind of bend like this a bit. And the little feetsies, like, they are mounted fused together, so I suppose you could just, that's more of a natural hopping pose you could do, like, separate toes too. And these little knees. And he's got some single swivel, like permanently elbow bended arms because that's where his 5mm holes are. And then you can put the helmet accessory right above his tail, so that's something. And then his weapons are boxing gloves, which they can open a bit, which you probably need to in order to put those hands in. And the inside of the boxing gloves do have more 5mm holes, so if you have a long enough shaft, you could make him hold something with those gloves. But not in kangaroo mode, in robot mode. Yep. You know, it's a trope, classic trope to give a kangaroo boxing gloves, big purple boxing gloves. Yeah, just really batter him up. Really beat him up. Beat him and kick him. Aw, the hollow insides of these handles have laces. Kangbox Gem Transformation. Yeah, first fold in the toes all the way in. Then figure out, yeah, this is actually a hinge back. Unlike the fold over. Yeah, so click those legs into place. Fold that in. Fold the head all the way in, and it gets these are kind of vestigial, just do that, and then a nice transparent dark orange color to complement the orange paint here, but that is an absolutely ridiculous kibble boob. I mean, that is bigger than the slot for the gem, or just as big. Yeah, just all the kangaroo is crumpled up in there. Kangaroo in your chest. Yeah, I guess they couldn't really think of a way to put it in the middle or such, you know, as such, you know, just has this much of a shelf space, just extra cabby. It's a pouch. It's a kangaroo pouch for a big robot. The head is neat enough. Typical faceplate with a chin and little lines that kind of look like whiskers. And a big central pink crest and little ears. They do kind of look like little ears. Somewhat feline, even though this is not a feline. It's a marsupial. I don't know if it's a marsupial-inspired robot head. You turn those boxing gloves into hammers or mallets. Twin mallets. And then put that helmet on, and yeah, that is a very flat and low brim cap. Yeah, it really looks like some sort of concession brim cap, and that really almost covers his eyes. Yeah, you can hardly see those eyes in there, so he's like kind of wearing some sort of big old overhand shade. Yeah, you're gonna have to, it should be like this much to have a good sense of where he's looking. Yeah, he's still kind of cute. Kind of cute little hammers. Cute little boxing hammers to drum along, or just punching and kicking and bopping. Yeah, but these hammers might look a little too small or a little too dinky for this type of Carbot class size. I guess the purple works well with the analogous blue and the orange. I guess they're good contrast, but I think this is like the weakest of the Carbot gems so far, just because of the chest kibble management and the cap. That's a really unfortunate hat. But if you don't like this hat, you can give him another hat.
초월을 누비는 카리스마의 제왕, 사자잼 카봇, 로어잼. 나는 다른 잼 카봇과 교체를 할 수 있다. 세단, 트럭, 불도저, 설상차, SUV 등 어떤 본체와도 결합할 수 있고, 싸울 때는 사자처럼 빠르고 용맹하다. 뭐든지 짧고 굵게, 그래서 길게 말하는 것도 싫어한다. 싸울 때는 누구보다 거칠지만 싸움이 없을 때는 조용히 자는 것을 제일 좋아한다. 나는 백수의 왕 사자 카봇, 이름은 로잼 베게스. 양손에 든 쌍벌총으로 공격한다. 로컨을 벌리면 표창이 되어 날아가는 로태그. 나는 길게 말하는 게 싫어서 짧게 말하겠어. 감히 사자의 코털을 뽑다니. 너는 이제 끝났어.
Finally, Roar Gem, the 146th purple. And a pretty green gradient. And it's a bit of a dark green because the English name is really hard to read there. Roar Gem. So Sniper Gem was pretty easy to read here, and then Kangbox's is also similar purple colors. That's hard to read there, but then there's Kangbox Gem. It's a pretty green background showing it with Toxi Gem, and it's kind of bulging out from the blister here. And all the other product information and such. Roar Gem, the purple crystalline lion. I'm not lying, this is a lion. Especially with that lion mane, the golden lion mane. And you can see his other feline face details. Little nose, little sharp teeth there. Non-opening jaw, little ears. Yeah, but that is a tiny lion face with a pretty big, thick body because of course how it transforms. Lion. Not much in the head, but his legs can move pretty well, like back all the way that much, and not much forward hinge in the way. The knees soft click both ways, so there's that, and also the legs kind of swivel back that much. I guess you could, no, cats don't do it like this, do they? Only backward bending knees. Soft clicks there, and a little wagging tail all the way down here, but all the way up here. These are his weapons. You can plug them in either his front holes or his back holes, so there are options for this, but I guess I prefer to have them in the front. Just because that seems more natural to put shoulder guns on a beast animal. And the helmet accessory has a hole, so you're gonna either plug it here, which is actually a bit of an odd hole there, so it's meant to go in the back here. right on top of there, I guess, or on the back of here like this. Yeah, not the most efficient helmet storage. Really think it's supposed to go like this. Yeah, just put this hole. Actually, this panel flips up so you can put that helmet there flush, and then it rests on there so that that hole is a bit more upright. Not perfectly upright. Yeah, so that's a bit of an overlookable complicated step to give this lion an extra back shell. Roar Gem's transformation is easiest to start by hinging that back half and then unlatching the front. Yeah, just wrap it around, tucking the tail all the way there, and then folding the backward knees all the way in. Yeah, fold that in, and just the toes kind of just tip upward, just they kind of stick out from right behind the head. And even with that tail all the way down there, there's still enough clearance. This is very compact and innocuous. The lion mode completely hides away and you can't tell what animal it is just from looking at it. I mean, I guess there's that golden painted chest armor piece thing and little bits paneled here, little unsightly tabs there. And not even the head is feline like. I don't know, maybe those lines there. Golden central crest. Orange eyes, and that's a big chin, but cut in such a way that kind of looks like a lower jaw, and he actually has a mouth. With Wingbird Car, the purple and blue is a pretty good analogous color combination, but then when you add teal to the mix, yeah, I know, that's quite a busy color layout, just 3 shades, like green, purple, and blues. I'm not sure how well that meshes together. Yeah, so it's kind of a weird helmet. This does kind of look like a bicycle helmet, but at least you can see through those things. And I guess little claw pistols. Yeah, I guess they're claws like this way, but then flip them out, I guess they're actually fire-powered guns, I guess. I guess he flips them this way to become melee uppercut claws. Yeah, I guess they kind of work as lion-themed weapons, but they're tiny little things. Yeah, so this Infinitool and Toxi Gem set is a pretty good starter for this new gimmick, but you really need the full set just to make full use of this carrier, this giant fancy carrier and storage box. Yeah, it is an interesting assortment of creatures and critters. Yeah, just standalone things that can borrow the other Carbot gems bodies. I only have this one Wingbird gem to show you, but with the other 2 Digo Bear gem with 2 G's and Torto gem, you can mix and match those animal heads and bodies, and even the hats and the weapons to create your own color combination to whichever style you prefer. They may be a bit pricey on their own, like each of them nearly $20. Yeah, this is about the equivalent of $20 you get like for a basically articulated critter and stuff. Yeah, but at least it's fully manually articulated, not like spring-loaded articulated, which might feel like it has less value than manually articulated. Plus, it's a good weapons pack. At least just these 2 weapons, but probably might be that worth it just to get extra 5mm accessories and critters that can hold 5mm accessories. And then you may want to just get this thing just to formally store them, which this is about run you about 60, and then just plus like 25 times 3, that's easily go over 100 with or without discounts. Yeah, so it's a bit of an investment just to get some big headmasters, plus like up to 3 bodies. I guess this is an interesting gimmick which not only changes a Carbot's head, but also its torso shape, which does give it more variety than just plain old heads. Yeah, but as far as I know, like this extra assortment and the 3 main assortments is all that there is going to be. Maybe an unrevealed SUV Carbot gem. Yeah, but Toy Rock could expand upon this. They could add more creatures anytime, like just slowly introduce in the next season. Yeah, you know, they have an obligation to show these characters on TV for at least 3 episodes, so if it was a toy only thing, maybe they could get a whole lot more. Maybe it would be nice to have a more variety of creatures if they could have like tiny creatures and big creatures in the same assortment. Yeah, then imagination is the limit. Not sure if they can get as far as 52 toys beast boxes.